Justin, thank you so much, man, for joining me again. March 13th, you return back to Bellator. Before we get into the fight and everything surrounding that, let's talk about the brown belt. You got it recently. Was that something that was expected?
I really didn't expect it, but I know it was long overdue. I've been training for 9 years now, and like when you're beating brown belts and black belts a lot, you know what I mean, and you got a purple belt, they're like, hey man, you're kind of sandbagging. So it's a little overdue, but I'm glad I got it, and just another step in the ladder to becoming the black belt. But really excited, and just I take it as just being able to show people lead them on and off the mat. Because when I was coming in and when I first started, I looked up to the brown belts and the black belts, and I was like, man, those guys, they have all the wisdom. Let me learn from them. So now I can take that step and kind of just show all the people underneath me, the way to go, the way to be, and pretty awesome.
At your gym, do you take a lot of responsibility in that? Do you embrace that a lot as being somebody that people look up to, that are for the new people coming in?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of like the first time I kind of realized that I was kind of in that role. It was like, they put my fight banner up in the corner of the gym, and when the younger kids come in and they're like, oh man, is that you? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And so I really enjoy the just like spreading knowledge and spreading not my way of life, but just a frame of mind, to make people believe in themselves and believe in their abilities. And that's what I kind of strive for myself, and I want people underneath me to do that as well.
For a fighter, a lot of people think that you just fight, but there's so much added to that, especially in a gym full of kids and teenagers and young adults, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of it's the like self-improvement aspect of it. Like a lot of people like see fighters and are like, man, this guy's just, he's just a beast, and he probably trains hard. But for me, it's just about like always improving myself. And if I'm always improving myself just by pure, being associated with me and by me, anybody in my circle, they're also going to kind of see that and want to improve themselves as well. So I really take it upon myself to kind of show the younger guys, hey man, if you really want to do this, you got to always, one, treat your body right, treat the people around you right, and things tend to happen in a synergistic way, and things just happen.
Yeah, there's a big misconception, I think, in a lot of movies. In the movies, there are guys in the gym, and it's like you just hear the sound of like the whack,
Yeah.
and there's some guys hitting the bag all hard, and he looks like a murderer and all that.
Yeah.
But really, that's only like 25% of what
yeah. Rarely, you know what I mean. You get some guys that are like that, but rarely, most guys are like straight down to earth, willing to help anybody. I really think they should kind of put that more in the limelight instead of these guys that are just like a-holes and only care about themselves. But
with the brown belt, in the gym, of course, as a martial artist is great. When you think about it as part of your resume, when the commentators are like, oh, he's a Brazilian brown belt or black belt, do you think that that's kind of a misconception in MMA?
Yeah, like I think. Because I forget who the saying came from, but everyone, like if you're in a fight and you're rolling with a black belt and you punch him in the face, he turns into a purple a brown belt, and you punch him in the face again, he turns into a purple belt. So for me, just having that knowledge base is not something to hang my high on. Like, hey, I got a brown belt. I'm a badass on the ground. It's just knowing that I have that knowledge to, especially in MMA, knowing that I have the knowledge to when I go to the ground, I feel comfortable and I feel that I'm at home, but I really want to stand up and punch you in the face. But I think hey, some people like to hear that. They like to say, hey, this guy, he's a brown belt. Oh, he's gonna do some fancy stuff on the ground, and then I might do some fancy stuff on the ground, or I might just like knock someone out. So.
All right, well, let's go back to last summer, Contender Series. You had your second chance at a contract. It didn't go as planned.
Yeah.
What was the mentality coming out of that fight?
It's just really I had a lot of things. Like me personally, I had a lot of things going on. I just like right before that fight, I broke my hand, so I wasn't really training. My wife, she had a tough pregnancy. My baby was born. So, I like to tell people I suffer from hubris, excessive pride. And, I know I have the ability, but, sometimes I let that cloud my judgment. And I think, all around I was prepared for the fight, but just mentally I wasn't like all there. And, it kind of cost me. But, coming out of that fight, I realized that, hey, they called me for a reason. They believe that, I have the abilities, and my stock might have dropped a little bit, but I know I'm confident. I know I have I'm one of the best 185ers in this country, and I just need to, when the cage door shuts, I just need to show up. And so that's kind of been my mentality since then. It's just, only thing I got to do is show up. And I know I'm always prepared. And just getting that mental game right is one of the things I took away from that fight.
Yeah, that goes back to what you said, is that, the fighters is not just fighting. There's other stuff going on. Especially you just mentioned that you went into the fight with a broken hand, but you felt in your mind, like you said, I could go in there with a broken hand. It doesn't matter. But really, when you look back at it, do you think like, oh man, I should have maybe, not taken that fight, or do you feel?
Yeah. I think like, especially like if I didn't take that fight, one, I probably wouldn't have that loss on there. But just had extra time to just chill and enjoy, just some time off. But like the fighter mentality is always, hey, you got to go. You're only young for a certain period of time. Yeah, like you live and you learn, and I'm still young. I'm only 30 years old, and I still got a lot of years ahead of me. So definitely just got to take a step back from any opportunity that comes. Take a really good look at it and see if it really makes sense for me to do, or take a step back, relax, and I believe everything has its way of working itself out. You just can't really force things to happen, and that's what I got to do.
So with the hand, how long did it take for you to get it back to 100% and get back to training?
With the hand, actually, so like I broke when I fought. When I fought in Bellator last time, I broke my hand. So really, I wasn't training. I accepted that fight probably, I think, a month and a half after that fight. So I wasn't training when I accepted that fight. It took me probably like a half. Let me see. So February, March, April. It was like around April. That's when I was able to start training. So, I really didn't have like a full camp like I would like. But I was just kind of super confident in my abilities. So that's kind of how my hand shaped out. But that kind of supersedes your question, but.
Yeah, but after that though, you know what I mean? Like.
After that fight, you know what I mean? Like I took some time off, you know what I mean? Just because my daughter was born. She was born in March 14th. And, so after the fight, like, I just took some time off, enjoyed her, enjoyed the moments that you can't get by. You wish you had, like, because now she's about to be one. Just missing those small, when she was like really small, it's kind of, you can't get those days back, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I completely understand. I have a daughter too, and when they're tiny, it's just
yeah,
like you're just amazed by like just holding them, in your hands because they're so
yeah.
small. So it's yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying about those moments. So you get back into training, you just get into the regular rotation and just start going full blast, or what did you do? Did you decide, okay, I'm gonna work on some things and then get into the camp?
It's just to work on things. A lot. We had a lot of guys, younger guys, fighting amateur guys, and so I mean, I just relish in that moment to kind of teach them and kind of spread my knowledge onto them, and one I like that because it kind of I don't want to teach them the wrong thing. So if I'm doing something wrong and I'm like, oh shoot, well I'm not supposed to do that because you got to do this and that. It kind of sharpens your game up by just just showing the move. And so I mean, I did that for a while, and I was supposed to fight in January. That didn't pan out, and then this one came up in March, and I jumped on it. I was like, hey, I'm ready. I was in shape for January, so I just continued to run the camp through, and I'm feeling great. And March 13th right around the corner, so I'm just super excited for it.
So Fighting Arts Academy, that's where you're doing your coaching, your training. I
Yeah,
talked to Nick last week or a few days ago actually, and he was telling me, yeah, you guys got some monsters coming up right now, and
yeah, no, yeah. Like the we got Eddie George. Eddie George is a beast. He's about to have a daughter. Hopefully soon. She was like due. I think like 2 weeks ago, but she hasn't came out yet. So I think they're inducing her now. But yeah, we got some good amateurs coming up the ranks. We got a guy fighting this weekend. And he's phenomenal, really good striker. So I'm excited for these guys to kind of step in the scene and really showcase their skills because we always grind when we train, and they show up to train with the pros, and when we have big team practices. So I'm really excited for them.
well, your fight, Bellator 241, Romero Cotton. I believe that this is a huge opportunity because this is like a guy that they're building up, a big
Yeah.
prospect for them, a wrestler with some momentum. He's undefeated. What are your thoughts on his overall skill?
I mean, I would say he's a good wrestler. I definitely see like holes in his game. He's very green, or especially just in his transitions but he's super explosive. So I mean, that's kind of what he's got a good team behind him. So combined with those things, you have a really good athlete. So I'm not definitely not taking him lightly. Definitely know he's going to come prepared and come ready to fight. So I'm just super excited for the opportunity. Like you said before, this is a guy they're building up, and he's got some momentum. But time to jump on the Fort train and take that momentum and just excel with it. So I'm just ready.
Lately with Bellator, a lot of the guys, a lot of the wrestlers, a lot of the BJJ guys that they've been hyping up, they've been getting knocked off left and right. Have you seen this trend going on?
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah,
with the
yeah. A lot of
veterans
them,
coming
a
in
lot of
doing
them.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I was kind of surprised about Fortune. I thought he probably had that in the bag, but hey, when you're fighting a gritty veteran, you got to be on your P's and Q's, and that's kind of not to say I'm a veteran, but I mean, I've been fighting for extensively for a while. And, he's been wrestling for a while, and that's all right. But yeah, I have like let me see, like almost 25 fights, amateur and pro, and I've seen a lot and seen a lot of good wrestlers and I think that it's kind of biting off a little bit more than he can chew, and so we shall see.
What surprised me the most about some of the wrestlers is that they gas out. You would
Yeah,
never
yeah,
expect that happen. But like you said, it's different. Fighting is different than wrestling.
yeah. Fighting is way different. Like when I first kind of stepped, like when I first started fighting, I was like, man, I mean, I wrestled, and I mean, like to me, wrestling was like the most tiring you could ever be. Like I was so like I can remember back in high school, like training, and I was like, man, I was in the best shape of my life. Like, couldn't get tired, and then put gloves on and you start kicking and you punching and you're trying to take someone down and they're like kneeing you and you're like, whoa, I mean, I'm getting tired, and that's something I've definitely picked up on. Going with wrestlers is that, hey, I mean, they're really good when they're in their realm. When they're in their realm, they can go as fast as they want, as slow as they want, but still keep that energy. But you put them out of their realm, and then they're like a fish out of water, and then they try to scare rescue you, try to take you down out of frustration, and then that's when you catch them and make mistakes.
You're focused on this fight, but it seems Bellator's middleweight division, man, it's not the path to the title is not as long, I believe, such as like the UFC, right? So do you kind of see that as somewhere you can kind of fit in, and after this fight, get this win, do a dominant performance, and just roll with the train and just go with it?
Like, I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, because they got what's his name, Lima. Lima's going to fight Musasi for the title, and so I'm like, hey, those guys are it's like the whole division's up in the air. It's like up in the air, and like you say, Musasi and Lima. Who else? Like off the top of your head, another guy is freaking what's his name? Leon Edwards' little brother or big brother, I don't know, little brother. Like he's kind of making some noise. But I mean, that would be a good fight. I would like that fight. After this fight, like win decidingly, win in a good fashion, and it puts me in the running. Because I think they only have like four other guys that, because I saw them post a picture, Bellator post a picture. It's like, who do you want to fight for the title? And it was like maybe like 5 guys that they listed. So
yeah, man, to crack the top 10, it wouldn't take that long. And
yeah, definitely
for you, get this one out the way. I feel like by the end of the year, it's a big possibility that you could be up there with those guys.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel that I have the abilities to give everybody problems. I'm strong. I'm lanky. I got good strikes. I have good wrestling. I have good BJJ. I feel like I can give anybody a problem and make them feel uncomfortable, make them make mistakes, and get a victory.
All right. One last thing before I let you go. There's many different types of competitors in combat sports, right? And usually there's 2 types. But maybe you might be different. But usually there's a martial artist, and then there's the prize fighter. What do you feel you fit in?
I feel like the martial artist. The reason why is because I have this phrase, like people, like especially at work, they're like, man, why do you do this? And I'm like, man, really what I really consider fighting is I'm painting a picture. And we're both of us, both me and my opponent, we both have paintbrushes, and whoever can paint the not you don't have to paint the most magnificent picture, but you need to paint a picture that stands out. If your picture stands out more than your opponent's picture, then ultimately you win. Hey, you can make some mistakes, you go outside of the lines, but if you're able to correct it and still go with the picture in your mind, then you succeed. And so that's why I consider myself a martial artist. And sometimes you got to paint with a crayon, sometimes you got to paint with a paintbrush, and that's just how it goes.
Well, man, that's a great way to put it, man. That I never thought of it like that, but yeah, that's a good analogy. Okay, March 13th, man, Bellator 241. You're gonna be protecting home territory in Connecticut, man. Thank you so much, Justin, for the time, and good luck on the fight. Good luck on all the stuff. Good luck with your newborn. It's about to turn 1, man. That's a lovely thing, and hopefully we do many more of these in the future.
Definitely.